AITA for refusing to forgive my ex-husband after he left me for another woman his mother chose and left me homeless? I'm 25F, married to my husband, 27M, and we've been together for 3 years, married for 1. Everything has been great between us, except for one glaring issue, my MIL, 55F. From the very beginning, she's been overbearing. She has this habit of calling my husband every single day to check in. It started off as a mild annoyance, but has since escalated to an unbearable level. She insists on knowing every detail about our lives, from our finances to our weekend plans. She even gave my husband a key to her house, just in case he ever needs to come home. Recently, it all came to a head when she showed up unannounced at our house while we were having a quiet dinner. She let herself in. We had given her a spare key for emergencies, big mistake, and immediately started picking everything apart. She criticized my cooking, saying it was no wonder my husband looked so miserable with the garbage I serve. I had made a butter chicken and homemade naan dish. She even inspected the house, pointing out imaginary dirt and telling me she should teach me how to clean properly. Then she made snide comments about our finances, implying that I was spending all of my husband's money on useless things and that I was a gold digger. She even suggested that my husband should consider getting our finances separated to protect himself. My husband and I make a relatively similar amount of money. She went on to say that I was lucky to have landed her son and that I should be grateful he didn't leave me for someone more suitable. She made it clear that she thought I wasn't good enough for him and even said she had a nice girl from her church in mind who would make a better wife. I know the woman my Emil is talking about. My Emil introduced me to her once, and she's everything my Emil wanted for my husband, including having a the man provides and the woman stays home mindset. I reached my breaking point and told her, very bluntly, that she needed to stop meddling in our marriage and that her constant interference was making things difficult for us. She burst into tears, called me disrespectful, and stormed out. Now my husband is upset with me for hurting his mom's feelings and thinks I overreacted. After the argument, things took a turn for the worse. My husband started to side more with his mother, influenced by her persistent complaints and emotional manipulation. He began questioning our relationship and became distant. Despite my attempts to explain my perspective and mend the rift, his mother's influence was too strong. A month later, my husband came home with a somber expression and told me we needed to talk. He said that after careful consideration, he believed it would be best for us to separate. He accused me of not respecting his mother and suggested that our differences were irreconcilable. I was devastated. He then revealed that he had decided to follow his mother's advice and pursue a relationship with the nice girl from her church. He believed she was more aligned with his values and would be more acceptable to his family. He asked me to leave our apartment, citing that it was his property, and handed me divorce papers. In shock and heartbroken, I packed my belongings and left, seeking solace with friends and family. However, the situation quickly went from bad to worse. The friends I thought I could rely on were unable to offer me a place to stay for more than a night or two, and my family lived too far away for me to turn to them immediately. For several nights, I found myself with nowhere to go. I spent those nights on the street, feeling utterly helpless and abandoned. Each night was a struggle to find a safe place to sleep, and I would often cry myself to sleep, wondering how my life had come to this. I had never felt so alone or uncertain about my future. Over the next few months, I struggled to rebuild my life. I eventually found a new job, moved into a small apartment, and focused on healing. Meanwhile, my ex-husband quickly moved on with the woman his mother had chosen for him. They got married in a grand ceremony, with his mother beaming proudly by his side. However, it didn't take long for cracks to appear in their relationship. The woman his mother chose turned out to be controlling and manipulative. She imposed strict rules on their household, demanded he cut ties with his friends, and even insisted on controlling their finances. My ex-husband found himself trapped in a marriage far more suffocating than he had anticipated. One evening, after yet another argument with his new wife, my ex-husband sat alone in the living room, reflecting on the past. He realized how much he had taken our relationship for granted and how he had allowed his mother to dictate his choices. The memories of our happy moments together flooded back, and he felt a deep sense of regret. A few weeks later, he showed up at my doorstep, looking disheveled and remorseful. He apologized profusely, admitting that he had made a terrible mistake. He told me how much he missed me, and how he realized too late that he had let go of the best thing in his life. He begged for my forgiveness and asked if we could try to rebuild what we had lost. Seeing him in such a vulnerable state, I felt a mixture of emotions. Part of me wanted to slam the door in his face for the pain he had caused, but another part remembered the love we once shared. However, I knew that too much had happened, and I couldn't trust him anymore. I had rebuilt my life and gained strength and independence that I didn't want to lose.